Shares of Snap plunging on third quarter guidance despite beating on earnings. For more on this, we turn to Scott Kessler, Third Bridge Global Sector Lead for Tech, Media and Telecom. Scott, good to talk to you today. A huge decline is what we're looking at, down more than 17% here. What do you think? What's the street not liking?
Look, this is not surprising. I think Snap has got to be one of the more volatile names within this category and even across TMT in conjunction with quarterly results. I think it's really more of the same. I feel like I've seen this movie at least once or twice before, where Snap essentially is indicating that there are some challenges. The challenges could be coming from the macro backdrop, could be coming from the fact that, they've been overhauling their ad technology and platform, or the fact that it is in fact a very competitive market. All that put together means that there are, I think, continuing issues that Snap has to overcome, and investors are not especially patient, especially at this point.
Scott, you read a report like this, you see the share price reaction. Sure, year to date, they're up by about 40%, but with all of the competitive factors that are in the market right now and the ways that consumers' attention are being pulled in one direction or another on either user-generated content or just consumption of that content, can investors still feel comfortable holding Snap?
To be honest, I don't know how people can feel comfortable, especially given the implied decline in the share suggested in the after-hours trading. That being said, however, I think it's appropriate to kind of wait and see in terms of what the company has to say. Look, the company announced a pretty major restructuring a little less than a year ago. I think it was August of last year. They talked about prioritizing, things like user growth and revenue growth and essentially AR, VR, presumably monetizing that. They're focusing on those things. But really, to be able to truly execute, they need to be able to get their advertising technology and platform in place. And it's taken them a lot longer than people might have expected. And it's had a negative impact on their ability to kind of drive monetization. And that's what people want to see at this point. I think that the company would be well advised to hopefully indicate that they're in position to kind of relaunch the ad platform so that they can really benefit from what historically has been a really strong period for them, and that's the holiday shopping season. So we'll see what they say there.
In prioritizing some of those features, Scott, at what cost, though, here? Because it seemed like in the previous quarter, that was the question that many analysts got ahead of. How much are you willing to spend to continue to prioritize some of these efforts, knowing that you're in a corporate advertising spend slowdown or kind of lull period?
Yeah, look, I think these are things that they need to do. They've already embarked on this spending, so they can't just stop midstream. Nonetheless, I do think it's reasonable to ask, when is this going to be done, and when are you going to start being able to, flip the switch and be able to really capitalize on the investments that they've been making for a number of quarters at this point? I think those are very reasonable questions. I also think that people should be wondering about other monetization efforts. We spoke with an expert not that long ago who pontificated that, yes, monetizing Snap Map is an opportunity, maybe a priority, but not something that we should expect until next year. I think sometimes with Snap, it seems like there's a lack of a sense of urgency coming from company leadership. We clearly saw that urgency when the company announced a pretty massive restructuring last August. But since then, I think people are kind of wondering when the benefits of that restructuring are really going to manifest themselves.
And Scott, we didn't even get to the competition discussion of all of that, but certainly a lot to talk about when it comes to Snap stock. Scott Kessler, appreciate your time today.
Thank you.